Foster Care: A Perspective into the Lives of Children and the System by Samuel Lopez and Kalina Flores. How would you feel if you had to be taken away from your parents because they were causing you harm emotionally and physically? If you had to start over with the new family multiple times until you got adopted? A system in which the state takes responsibility for the children living under unsafe circumstances with their biological parents is called foster care. Many children are part of the system because they have been neglected, abused, or abandoned by parents or guardians. The criteria for these foster care systems are reunification. The child is placed back with a parent or guardian because a safety risk has been resolved. Permanency: the child found a home the state considers permanent. Emancipation: the child has reached the age of 18. Or delinquency, where the child becomes part of the criminal justice system. Special challenges with foster children: the students from foster care develop social, emotional, and physical barriers that impede their academic performance. They experience a lack of necessary adult support and resources to complete school tasks. Academic success is compromised from inconsistent attendance and school transfers. Foster care statistics: the amount of children in the system is 73,000, which is about 20% of the nation's total foster youth population. About 54,750, which is 75% of this population, belongs to California public schools, since a quarter of the total amount of children are below the age of 5. Adaptations and strategies to help these kids. The state has developed a law to help foster youth, specifically with their educational needs. It focuses on higher education programs and other support programs, academic outcomes. These children have the advantage when it comes to being at school because when they get transferred to the school, they can enroll immediately without having to wait for otherwise required paperwork. Schools provide foster youth access to the same resources available to all pupils, such as extracurricular activities, school transfer, school records for foster youth who have changed schools within 2 days of request. So that's pretty speedy. Also, the state has issued resources to check these students, make sure they're attending school, they're completing schoolwork, and they're participating within the school, and make sure they're being prepared for the their academic future. Implications in our classrooms: while foster students want to be treated like any other students, there are differences, and teachers must make allowances. These children have not had the same chances or opportunities to learn basic skills like table manners or not to run or yell in the classroom, so we as teachers have to understand that and work with them. We as teachers should not take very personal what these kids say or do to us in class because, again, they come with front-loaded emotional issues because of the foster care or their living arrangements. So we should really know how to adapt to that. And also, we really have to let them know that we expect a lot from them. Our expectations have to be high for these students. I mean, all our classroom, but specifically these students, we have to be consistent with our classroom management. With our layout, the implications in the classroom, again, the layout of the classroom has to be one that's warm, inviting, well decorated. It has to be visually appealing to teachers and kids. The physical environment of the classroom plays a part in the ownership students feel about their school and more specifically their class. And remember, the kids are there for a significant amount of the day, and a lot of the times foster kids this is where they have the best part of their day because they get fed at least twice a day, and they get a lot, at least in my classroom, they get a lot of positive reinforcement, a lot of positive support. I like to also do what are called contracts or pledge banners with my kids, where we both parties get to write down what each expects from the other. So this kind of makes us both accountable, and it kind of it kind of makes it puts the pressure on both parties to do their part. And I really like doing these with my kids, and so far they've worked. Again, academic instruction and social behavior. Teachers can make their classrooms encouraging and supported by teaching students problem solving and conflict resolution skills. I do morning classroom circles with my class where we can talk about any kind of conflicts that they might have had at home or with other classmates or with other kids in the school, where we can talk about how to solve it without having to fight physically or verbally. Um, this really creates pro social skills with these kids. Here are my references.